Fountains Abbey and Studley Royal, located in the heart of North Yorkshire, has been preserved by the National Trust for generations to enjoy. Yorkshire's first World Heritage Site within the narrow, beautiful valley of the Skell are the ruins of one of the largest Cistercian abbeys in Europe, as well as a unique 18th century water garden. The estate was inherited by John Aselby, a British politician notable for his involvement in the South Sea Bubble and for creating the water gardens at Studley Royal. If you listen carefully, you can still hear the voices of those responsible for its creation today.
My name's John Aselby and I'm the owner of the Studley Royal Estate. The estate you see today is an estate that's taken me 40 years to create, and I've done so with much aplomb, I think. It's a garden that no doubt people will look back on and think that was done by someone who had real genius. People ask if I had a vision for my site when I inherited it in 1693. I think the short answer is yes, I did have a vision. I was a man of energy and great dynamism, so therefore it was incumbent on me to have a vision. And my vision has played out nicely, because today we've got 360,000 visitors come to see this wonderful garden that my son and I created. And my granddaughter kept going. Yes, my vision's been accomplished. In 1718, I was given the post of Chancellor of the Exchequer, and not long after this I was approached by a member of the South Sea Company, a company that had been set up by Lord Hartley to trade in the Indies. And I was convinced it was a good scheme for the country. But sadly, like most things, these shares didn't do too well after a while, and they crashed, and of course this came to be known as the South Sea Bubble. But sadly for me, I was blamed for the whole scheme, and I got thrown into the Tower after Parliament took away my right ever to hold public office. But while I was in there, I was able to think about my beloved estate in Yorkshire, and that was where my vision was formed. I'd already started the vision. As you look around you, you see many people like yourselves visiting the site, and that's wonderful, because when I built the site in 1718 to 1742, I wanted visitors to come. I wanted them to enjoy the site. And now as you, the modern day visitor, look around, you see the wonderful things that I created. It's something that gave me great pleasure during my life, and I hope it brings you pleasure during yours. And for those of you who've been wondering who I really am, because I'm not really John Aselby, my name is Ian Orr. I'm a volunteer here at Studley, and I hope you'll come and join me on the many tours that me and my colleagues will take you on. So come and enjoy the gardens and learn what it's all about.
Good day to you. My name is William Aselby and I'm master of the Studley Royal estate yonder, which I inherited from my father in the year of our Lord God, 1742. And it has been my task, and indeed my pleasure, to extend further the works to which he set his hand. A difficulty my father had encountered was that the recalcitrant family of Messenger of Fountains Hall would not sell the Fountains Abbey estate to us, so this fine ruin could not be part of our designed landscape. But I was determined, as my father was, to achieve the uniting of the two properties. What does it purpose a gentleman to have a fine estate such as this if it is not to welcome guests? Why, the welcoming of visitors was always at the centre of my father's thoughts, as indeed it has been to mine. Now, the first work that I essayed when I inherited the estate from my father is called by many of my visitors the Seven Bridges Valley, though I have myself a fashion to call it the Serpent Valley. I was inspired by what I knew of China, and as we know, the Chinese gardens draw heavily upon nature, and these ideas we have incorporated in our English gardening. My guests in times past, and this estate's guests today, all find the same beauties that attract them. Why, there are the wonders of nature artfully contrived by man to gladden the heart, the glistening waters of the river Skell, in one moment flowing rapidly, in another stilled within a pond, the majesty, awe and melancholy of magnificent ruins unparalleled across Europe. These are the things that bring so many to the estate today. So pray, do as so many generations have before, visit this magnificent place, and I promise that one day spent here will be a treasure that lasts you a lifetime.
My name is Michael Risdale and I'm the head of landscape here at Fountains Abbey in Studley Royal, and my focus is the conservation and the restoration of the historic landscape. Conserving and restoring historic landscapes are really fiendishly difficult. In one hand you are looking back in time and looking at what were contemporary cultures and what the period of the time was, their statements, what they were trying to say with their landscapes, what the social and political thinking was, and how that reflected in the lifestyles at the change. So it's putting historic landscapes and historic cultures together with contemporary culture, and what we're trying to do is mesh that together and produce something that you and I can enjoy, and what future generations can enjoy as well. The landscape team primarily looks after the lawns and the trees and the woodlands. So if it grows and flows, that's our responsibility. For me, there is never 2 days the same. I never fail to get excited as soon as I get out of bed. Even before I get to bed the night before, I'm planning what I'm going to do the next day. I'll wake up thinking, you know, I'm off to Fountains and Studley. And there isn't a better place in the United Kingdom. And in fact, when you think about it, it's a World Heritage Site. So for me, it puts it on a level with all the iconic landscapes such as the Wall of China and Taj Mahal. So for me, I'm working in that sort of environment, and nothing could be better. Have you ever been to Fountains Abbey in Studley Royal? Well, if you haven't, now's the time. The atmosphere here is quite unique. They say a man for all seasons. This is a place for all seasons, whether it be in the winter, the summer, or the autumn, or the spring. There's something here for everybody. So if you've never been before, I suggest you come along and enjoy the day.